In a world that moves at breakneck speed, where emotions are worn like badges and vulnerability is mistaken for virtue, there's a quiet truth that cuts through the noise. Caring too much, without discipline, is a path to losing yourself. It's not about shutting your heart off or building walls so high no one can reach you. It's about learning to care with intention, to love with clarity, and to give without dissolving into someone else's chaos. This is the wisdom of the Stoics, a philosophy that doesn't just speak to the heart but anchors it in reason. It's a lesson I've explored deeply on my YouTube channel, WisdomWavesAura, where we dive into the art of living with purpose and strength. Caring is not weakness, but careless caring is a slow bleed of the soul. The more you give without boundaries, the more you risk becoming a shadow of who you were meant to be. Imagine your heart as a flame. It's warm, radiant, capable of lighting up the darkest corners of someone else's world. But if you let that flame burn unchecked, it doesn't just warm, it scorches. It consumes everything you are until there's nothing left but ash. The world doesn't teach us this. It tells us to pour ourselves out endlessly, to love without restraint, to believe that the depth of our feelings will be met with equal devotion. But the Stoics, those ancient masters of self-command, saw through this illusion. They understood that caring without discipline is not a gift, it's a sacrifice. And the world, cold and unyielding, doesn't hesitate to take everything you offer. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said it best: we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. When you tie your peace to someone else's actions, you've already lost. You've handed over the reins of your happiness, your worth, your stillness, to forces beyond your control. This isn't cynicism. It's clarity. There's a price to attachment, and it's often paid in silence. You feel deeply, you love fiercely, and you believe that this intensity will be mirrored back to you. But the truth is, people act according to their nature, not your expectations. When you place your contentment in their hands, their attention, their validation, their presence, you become a hostage. You're no longer the master of your own mind. You're tethered to their whims, their chaos, their indifference. On WisdomWavesAura, we talk about this trap, about how the modern world glorifies emotional overflow while ignoring the cost. We're taught that constant availability is love, that endless giving is nobility. But the Stoics walked a different path. They knew that true strength lies in ruling your own mind, not in trying to control the uncontrollable. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Strength isn't about how much you feel, it's about how well you master what you feel. The world deceives us when it equates unrestrained emotion with authenticity. It tells us to emote without direction, to give without limits, to think that love means dissolving into someone else's story. But the Stoic path is one of balance, reason tempered with emotion, care balanced with self-respect. You cannot let every wave of feeling drown your stillness. People will take as much as you give, pulling from you until you're an echo of your former self. They won't notice the cost. It's not their job to protect your boundaries, it's yours. This is where the modern narrative fails us. It doesn't teach us to guard our peace, to choose who deserves our care, to love without losing our form. Seneca, another Stoic sage, wrote, "He who is brave is free." Bravery in this world means standing firm in yourself, even when others beg you to bend. It means caring deeply but not collapsing under the weight of your own generosity. You lose not because you feel, but because you feel without restraint. You give not as a choice, but as a reflex, driven by fear, fear of being alone, fear of being forgotten, fear of being unloved. Fear is a poor foundation for anything lasting. It builds connections that crumble under pressure, relationships that drain rather than nourish. On WisdomWavesAura, we explore this idea through the lens of Stoic wisdom, asking, how do we care without being consumed? The answer lies in detachment, not coldness, but clarity. When you stop needing so much from others, when you find peace in your own stillness, you reclaim your power. This is the secret the world doesn't want you to know. You can love and still walk away if you must. You can care without letting it hollow you out. Indiscriminate empathy isn't noble, it's dangerous. Not everyone deserves the weight of your soul. Those who demand everything often give nothing in return. This isn't bitterness, it's sobriety, a clear-eyed view of human nature. The Stoics saw this long before we did. People act according to their own drives, their own desires, their own flaws. You cannot control them. You cannot fix them. You can only govern yourself. The more you care, the more you must guard your mind. Unchecked emotion becomes expectation, and unmet expectations become suffering. You're not meant to be untouched by the world, but you are meant to remain unmoved by what you cannot govern. This is the heart of Stoicism, self-command in a world that demands your surrender. The next time your heart aches because someone pulled away, because they didn't see your worth, pause and ask yourself, were you caring from strength or from desperation? Were you loving because you chose to, or because you couldn't bear to be alone? There's a profound difference between genuine love and emotional dependency, and the world doesn't reward the latter, it exploits it. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we dive into these distinctions, unpacking how to love with intention, how to care without losing yourself. The more you care, the more you must center yourself. If you don't, the weight of others will carve you hollow. You'll spend your life chasing connection, only to realize that the most vital connection is with yourself. Walking alone isn't loneliness, it's clarity. It's the courage to let your soul be dyed with the color of your own thoughts, as Aurelius put it. Let those thoughts be calm. Let them be disciplined. Let them be sovereign. When you are whole, you don't lose by caring. You choose who is worthy of your care, and that choice is power. You've walked a difficult road. There was a time when caring too much left you drained, when the lines between yourself and others blurred until your own needs were lost in the noise. But something deeper stirs within you now. You've begun to see that true strength isn't in giving your heart to everyone who asks, but in the quiet mastery of your own mind and emotions. It's in choosing carefully where to place your care, like a gardener tending only the plants that thrive under their touch. This strength isn't loud or boastful. It's the calm at the center of the storm, the steady presence that endures when everything else swirls in chaos. It's the wisdom to protect your peace, not by shutting the world out, but by understanding that your well-being is a sacred responsibility. You no longer wait for others to define your worth. You've found it within yourself, deep and unshakable. Love, you now see, isn't about losing yourself in another, it's about standing firmly in who you are, even when the world pulls hard to unravel you. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we talk about this journey, about how to carry this understanding gently but firmly. Care deeply, but with clear eyes. Love fully, but without sacrificing your shape. Respect yourself enough to guard your soul, because it deserves nothing less. This isn't just survival, it's a quiet triumph, a reclaiming of your power through balance. The real strength lies in knowing when to give and when to hold back, when to open your heart and when to close the door with grace. In this balance, you find freedom. And in that freedom, you become unbreakable. This path is not for the faint of heart. It requires patience, self-awareness, and sometimes a profound willingness to stand alone. It demands that you face the discomfort of saying no when every instinct screams yes, that you honor your limits even when the world pressures you to dissolve them. This is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's a deliberate refusal to be consumed by the endless demands of others or the chaos of fleeting emotions. When you master this art, you no longer cling to the approval or presence of anyone. Your care becomes a conscious gift, given freely yet fiercely protected, a force that nourishes rather than depletes. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we explore this sacred space where love meets self-respect, where you discover a peace that isn't shallow or fleeting, but deep and unshakable, born from knowing you hold the reins of your own heart. This is the Stoic way, to care without crumbling, to love without losing, to give without giving yourself away. It's a path of quiet power, where you choose who is worthy of your soul's weight and when to walk away from those who would take without giving. It's about finding peace in your own stillness, so that no matter how the world shifts around you, you remain whole. As you move forward, carry this truth like a flame, care deeply, but with intention. Love fiercely, but with boundaries. Guard your peace, because it's yours to protect. On Wisdom Waves Aura, we'll keep exploring this journey together, learning how to live with strength, clarity, and a heart that knows its own worth.